Did you send this month's money? Vanessa didn't even say good morning. She walked into the kitchen, poured herself coffee, and looked at me like my paycheck belonged on her monthly calendar. I stared at the banking notification on my laptop. $1,600 sent. Yes, I said. I sent it. Good. She turned away. Vanessa, wait. She stopped. For 8 months, I'd swallowed the same question because this was her house, and I was supposed to be grateful. But watching another $1,600 disappear from the money I earned at my remote job finally pushed me past that fear. Why am I giving you $1,600 every single month? Her expression changed instantly. You live here, Joyce. I know. You use electricity, internet, food. You have an entire bedroom. I also buy groceries. I pay all my personal bills. I help around the house. Vanessa folded her arms. So show me what the $1,600 is paying for. The kitchen went completely quiet. 8 months earlier, I had needed somewhere to land quickly. My apartment building had been sold, tenants were given notice, and my brother Daniel told me I could stay with him and Vanessa temporarily while I rebuilt my savings. I was 29, employed full-time and working remotely. I wasn't asking them to support me. Still, within weeks, Vanessa started requesting money. At first, I didn't question it. Contributing seemed fair. Then $1,600 became the monthly expectation. Whenever I hesitated, Vanessa reminded me, "You're living under my roof." So I paid. Month after month. But that afternoon, I finally asked for something I'd never received, a breakdown. Show me the mortgage contribution, utilities, groceries, whatever I'm paying toward, I said. That's all I'm asking. You don't get to audit my household. I'm not auditing you. I'm asking where my money goes. Her coffee mug hit the counter. If you have such a problem with it, then maybe you shouldn't live in my house. I looked at her. Vanessa's shoulders relaxed slightly, as though she believed those words had ended the argument. Normally, they would have. Instead, I slowly closed my laptop. Okay. She frowned. Okay, what? I'll move out. Vanessa laughed. Joyce, please. If you could afford your own place, you wouldn't be here. I didn't answer. That night, I locked my bedroom door, opened my banking history, and searched Vanessa's name. 8 transfers appeared. $1,600. $1,600. $1,600. Again and again. I added them together. $12,800. Then I sat there staring at the total, as one question became impossible to ignore. If $1,600 was really my fair share of the household bills, why had Vanessa never been willing to show me a single one? The next morning, Vanessa acted as if nothing had happened. I was making coffee when she walked into the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, and said casually, "About yesterday, I know you were emotional." I looked at her. I wasn't emotional. Whatever you want to call it, she shrugged. There's no reason to turn this into some huge family problem. Just keep paying what you've been paying and we'll forget the whole thing. That was when I asked the question that had been bothering me all night. Does Daniel know I give you $1,600 every month? Vanessa froze for half a second. It wasn't long, but I noticed. Then she shut the refrigerator. Daniel doesn't handle the household finances. I do. That wasn't my question. Her eyes narrowed. I suddenly remembered something Daniel had said several weeks earlier. Thanks for helping Vanessa with the groceries, Joyce. We appreciate it. Groceries. Not rent. Not $1,600. I opened my banking app again and checked every transfer more carefully. Every payment had gone directly to Vanessa's personal account asterisk. Not an account with Daniel's name. Not a joint household account. Vanessa's. What exactly have you told Daniel I'm paying? I'm not discussing my marriage with you." That was enough. That evening, Vanessa found 2 open boxes on my bedroom floor. "You're seriously packing. You told me to leave. I didn't expect you to take it literally." I folded another shirt. "You said I shouldn't live here if I questioned the money. You're abandoning family over $1,600. I stopped. "No, I'm leaving because you won't tell me why you're taking it." For once, Vanessa had nothing to say. My remote job paid enough that I had maintained savings despite those monthly transfers. By the end of the next day, I'd found a modest apartment, paid the deposit, and signed the lease. Then I opened my banking app. I removed Vanessa as a saved transfer recipient. After that, I moved the remaining spending money into my separate savings account. The checking account Vanessa had become accustomed to receiving money from now showed. Available balance, $0. 2 mornings later, I woke to 3 missed calls from Vanessa. My phone started ringing again as I carried my first box toward the moving van. Vanessa calling. I looked at the screen. Then I pressed *decline and carried the box outside. I was carrying another box toward the moving van when Daniel's car pulled into the driveway. He barely shut the driver's door before staring at the boxes stacked outside. "Joyce, what's going on?" Before I could answer, Vanessa appeared behind me. "She's leaving because apparently contributing to this house is too much to ask." Daniel looked confused. "What?" I set the box down. I wasn't going to argue with Vanessa in the driveway. I wasn't going to defend myself while she rewrote what had happened. So I looked directly at my brother. "Ask Vanessa how much I've been paying every month." Daniel frowned. Then he answered without even asking her. $600. I stopped. For a second, nobody spoke. "What did you say?" "600, Daniel repeated. "For groceries, utilities, stuff around the house." I pulled out my phone. Vanessa stepped forward. "Joyce, don't start." I opened my banking app. "Look." Daniel took the phone. There they were. $1,600. Another $1,600. Another. Month after month. His face changed as he scrolled. "Vanessa." She immediately crossed her arms. The extra money covered expenses. "What expenses?" "Electricity, internet, food, household supplies, everything costs money, Daniel." He looked back at my phone. "You told me Joyce was giving you $600. I manage the household finances." "That doesn't answer me." Vanessa's voice rose. "She lived here for 8 months. I had every right to decide what she should contribute." I finally stepped between them. "Then why hide the amount from your husband?" Vanessa looked at me, but no answer came. The balance of power shifted right there in the driveway. For 8 months, I had been the person being questioned. Now Daniel held my phone, while Vanessa had to explain herself. "Show me where the money went," he said. Vanessa's face tightened. "Not here." "Why not?" I picked up my box. Whatever happened next belonged between them. I finished loading the last of my belongings and headed toward the front door for my laptop bag. Behind me, Daniel was looking at something on Vanessa's phone. Then his voice dropped. "Vanessa." I turned. He stared at the screen. "Why are there overdue notices if Joyce has been giving us $1,600 every month?" I had barely finished unpacking my first box when Vanessa started calling again. Once. Twice. Then 3 more times that evening. I ignored every call. For the first time in 8 months, Vanessa couldn't solve whatever was happening inside that house by waiting for another $1,600 from my paycheck. And the next monthly payment never came. My transfer account was empty. Vanessa had been removed as a recipient. I had my own rent now, my own utilities, and my own life to finance. Meanwhile, Daniel started doing something he apparently hadn't done in a long time. He reviewed their finances himself. A few days later, my phone rang. This time, it was him. "Joyce, I need a favor." "What?" "Send me screenshots of every payment you made to Vanessa." I opened my banking history. 8 transfers. 8 months. $12,800 total. I sent everything. Daniel called again, almost immediately. "She told me you were paying $600 a month." "I know." "No, Joyce, every month. I thought you'd paid $4,800 total." I sat down. He had believed I'd contributed *4, 800 ***. I'd actually transferred *12, 800 ***. That left $8,000 Daniel hadn't even known existed. "What did Vanessa say it was for?" I asked. "Household expenses, but that's the problem." Daniel had compared the bills against what Vanessa claimed my money covered. The numbers didn't match. Some of the expenses she said I was paying toward were still overdue. "I'm going through everything," he said. "You can use every record I sent you," I replied. "But I'm not coming back, Daniel, and I'm not sending money to fix whatever you find." There was a pause. "I understand." That evening, I continued unpacking. No Vanessa. No monthly demand. No one reminding me whose roof I lived under. Then my phone rang again. "Daniel." I answered. His voice sounded completely different. "Joyce, I found where the rest went." In the background, I suddenly heard Vanessa. "Daniel, give me that phone." There was movement, then her voice came closer. "Don't you dare tell her." "Daniel, give me that phone." I could hear Vanessa clearly in the background. Daniel didn't hang up. Instead, he said, she wasn't supposed to be paying $1,600. Then everything finally came out. When I'd first moved in, Daniel and Vanessa had discussed what would be reasonable for me to contribute. They had settled on roughly $600 a month for groceries, utilities, internet, and general household expenses. But Vanessa never told me that. She told me the amount was **1, 600 **. And every month, while I transferred $1,600 directly into her personal account, she continued telling Daniel I was paying only $600. "So where did the extra $1,000 go?" I asked. Daniel exhaled. "Into everything else." Their finances had been struggling for months. There were overdue household bills, credit card balances, expenses they couldn't comfortably afford anymore. And instead of admitting how strained things had become, Vanessa had quietly used my extra $1,000 every month to plug the holes. Some of it had paid legitimate household obligations. Some covered credit cards. And some allowed Vanessa to maintain discretionary spending she would otherwise have had to cut. That was why the overdue notices still existed despite all the money I'd given her. My $1,600 hadn't simply been my contribution. It had become part of their survival plan. Later, Daniel told me what happened after our call. He placed my transfer records beside their statements on the kitchen table. 8 months, he told Vanessa. Joyce gave you $12,800. I was keeping this house running. You told me she paid $600. Because you would have made a big deal about it. Daniel stared at her. You took an extra $1,000 from my sister every month without telling either of us what you were doing. I used it for this family. Then why did you have to lie? Vanessa finally stopped arguing. She admitted she'd known Daniel would insist they cut their spending if he understood how bad things had become. She didn't want that. So when I moved in, my paycheck became the easier solution. That was when I understood why Vanessa had become so furious when I asked one simple question. She hadn't been angry because I was ungrateful. She had been scared. Because the moment I asked where the $1,600 went, the arrangement couldn't survive scrutiny. Vanessa contacted me afterward and asked whether I could send one final payment while they sorted things out. My answer was simple: no. She also suggested that I could come back once everyone had calmed down. I refused that too. I didn't demand immediate repayment. I had lived in their house, and some of the money genuinely had covered expenses I benefited from. But the deception changed our relationship permanently. Without my $1,600 arriving every month, Daniel and Vanessa had to confront their finances directly. They cut discretionary spending. They dealt with the overdue bills. And Daniel began reviewing their joint finances himself, instead of leaving everything under Vanessa's control. The damage between them wasn't something I could repair. Daniel apologized to me. I should have asked more questions. You thought she was charging me what you agreed on. I still should have known. We slowly repaired our relationship, but I established one boundary immediately. I would never mix vague financial arrangements with family again. Several months later, my apartment finally felt like mine. My remote paycheck went toward my rent, my savings, and my future. No unexplained transfers. No personal account belonging to someone else. No one standing over me asking whether I'd sent this month's money. Vanessa and I became distant but civil. She still had the house she'd repeatedly reminded me belonged to her. But she no longer had the extra $1,600 she'd quietly treated as guaranteed income. And I had something far more important: control over my own money. Vanessa told me that if I questioned the $1,600, I could leave her house. So I left, and the moment my money left with me, everyone finally discovered what it had really been paying for.